All right, I am going to make this a quick video so that you will be able to pause, rewind, and get all this stuff done to your um, budget from last Friday that we had started out. So let me just do a quick run through of what we've done so far. First of all, you found your ideal job, whatever it may be. I picked mechanical engineer, and you did a Google search and just found out what the average salary is. And then we took 70% of that salary for two reasons. One main reason is to incorporate taxes, but also just to kind of adjust it for where we currently live. It'll obviously change depending on your specific job or whatever. But this was just a good starting point to get the idea of the budget. So then this is actually our monthly pay. I forgot that I had changed that to monthly pay, which again in here, instead of typing this number in, you can see up here in my formula that what I did was I took C3. So when I did this formula, I hit equals and then I clicked on this cell, which is C3, and then I divided by 12. Okay, so that's where that number is coming from. So I'm not actually going to retype any of these numbers in here. You can see that if I were to take this, say if I wanted to adjust this, let's say I got a really good paying a job and I started out at 100,000. Watch everything change. Bam. It changed the wrong way now. So C2, this should be equals C2 times 70%. I don't know why it's saying error in the value there. Maybe it's because it's not in dollar amount. Let's try that. There we go. All right, so you can see here, $70,000 would be 70% of that, and here would be your monthly pay. All right, so you can adjust this to whatever amount. I'm going to go back to my original amount. I just wanted to show you that there are benefits in using formulas instead of plugging in actual numbers, because it'll change everything for you. So excuse me, last week we talked about these categories, and like I said, these categories are just the ones that we're going to start with. There may be some things in here that you separate and do individually, like in your housing. Your overall housing cost should be 40% of your pay. So what's going to be in there is your rent or your mortgage, your utilities, your electric bill, water bill, whatever. Your cell phone bill will probably be in there as well. So you just want to keep that in mind, okay? So these are the categories that we're going to start off with. Now, these are the percentages that are recommended, like I said, through Crown Financial. Okay, so those are the percentages that they recommend. You can adjust these however you want to. But you want to make sure they always add up to 100%. So if you look up here, you can see what I did was I added them together. So that way, if I go through and I do my housing and I find out that, well, my housing is only 38%, what that means is I only have 98% of my paycheck accounted for. So that means I can adjust this and say, all right, well, that means if I drop this by 2%, I got 2% to play with. That means this is going to be 7%. Takes me back up to 100%. So you can kind of adjust that however you want, but you just want to make sure it adds up to 100%. So this is what we're going to do here. These are the amounts that we're going to use when we do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a formula. So we're going to say equals, and we're just going to click around. I'm not going to tell you specific cells because this cell is mine, where you may have it in a different spot on yours. But what we want to do is we want to do this amount times, so remember that's Shift 8 to get the little asterisk there, times this, which is 40%. So when we hit enter, we can see our monthly housing cost should not exceed $1,695.31. Okay, now typically with our formulas, we could take this and drag it down, but what's going to happen is, look, there's a bunch of zeros in here. Because when we did this, if we look at our next cell, this went and it moved. So let me come up here. See this first cell, it said C4 because that's where this was. This was in cell C4. So when we drag this down, the next one's going to go C5, C6, C7, C8, C9. Like it's going to keep moving down and down and down. So the Excel and Google Sheets way of saying, I want to use this cell every time is in this formula. Come up here. Let me zoom into this formula here. We want it to always pull cell C4. So the way that we get it to stay static, meaning that we always want cell C4, is to put a $ in front of it. And that's just an Excel trick to do that. So $C, $4, enter. So now let me back out and show you what happens now. So you see how if I click here, you see how that says C5, and if I click here, it says $C, $4. So what this means is the second, this B11, which represents 40%, that will change for each cell, but this $4,238.27 will stay the same. So if I take this corner now and drag it down, I just want to go down to here. Let's delete this. You can see that it's gonna, so if we scroll through this, look at your cell up here, look at this up here, okay? If I watch this up here, we can see that this is going to stay the same. See how it says $C, $4? So that's in every one of these. So that $ is what tells you it's always going to pull from this cell. Okay, so now we can see what our monthly amounts should be if this is our base salary, okay? The last thing we want to do to make sure that we did this correctly, is we want to add all these together and make sure that it equals $4,238.27. So we're going to say equals, and look, it's already saying, oh yeah, you probably just want to add these together. So you can just click on that, but we're going to do this. So equals sum, parenthesis, and then we're going to click, hold the click, and drag. Okay, so click, hold, drag, close parenthesis, enter. And this amount right here, 423827, should match this, 423827. Okay, so that is what I want you to do for today. Feel free to pause, rewind the video at any point, and just make sure you can get all those dollar amounts there. Later on, what we're going to do is we're going to transfer all this information over to sheet number 2 and get started on actually building our budget from there. So that's all I want you to do for today. So make sure you get those amounts. And again, ask a neighbor if you're struggling with this. Ask somebody to give you a hand, or rewind the video, watch what I do, pause it, do yours, pause it, do your, just kind of work with the video and move at your own pace, okay? So you want to make sure you get this done by the end of class on Friday. If you have any questions, send me an email and let me know.